Actually, I'm doing dual role. I need to invite the people also. Yes. Very good afternoon. Today we have invited Dr. Surabhi Verma from NIT Rourkela to deliver a lecture on intuition and precognition in Kashmir Shaiva Darshana. So now I will call upon Mrs. Srivani to give a brief introduction to the speaker. Mrs. Srivani.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, all of you, and namaste. I'm very happy to welcome you all for today's lecture on intuition and precognition in Kashmir Shaiva Darshana, and delivered by Dr. Surabhi Verma. Dr. Surabhi had exposure in both Sanskrit and modern science since her childhood. Having done her master's in Sanskrit from JNU Delhi, she completed her PhD in Punjab University, Chandigarh in 2015. Her specialization is in Bharatiya Darshanas, Tantra, and Āgama Shastra. And her main project is the study relating consciousness and spiritual intelligence with special reference to Kashmir Shaivism. She has published many papers in the subject areas of psychology, parapsychology, dreams, and precognition in Indian philosophy. She has also taught a lot of courses, a variety of courses. It was interesting to look through that list of courses that she has taught. Science of Consciousness in Ancient India, Management and Ethics through Applied Ancient Wisdom, Introduction to the Metaphysics of Sanskrit Language, Introduction to the Jewels of Sanskrit, and then Science of Self-Realization for Holistic Human Development. These are a few of the courses that she has taught. The the course names are so interesting. I would just like to get a briefing about what will be covered in each of those courses. Anyways, currently, Dr. Surabhi is teaching in NIT Rourkela. Thank you, ma'am, for being here with us today. Welcome very much. And it's really a privilege to have you with us today, connecting, all the subject areas. Would be very interesting to listen to. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Should I start?
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Respected Prasad sir and dear students and all the learned and intelligent audience. Today, I am going to discuss the topic intuition and precognition in Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. And this is based on Agama and Tantra Shastra. So as Professor Prasad and I discussed that this lecture is primarily prepared for the students. So, and he has already taught Sankhya and Yoga Darshan to few of the students and the previous semesters. So today I would take you through the fundamental grounds of Agama and Tantra Shastra to introduce you to the Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, and then I will conceptualize the seed of intuition and precognition in a very precise and exact manner. So for the sake of the better understanding, I have classified this discussion in three broader categories. So let me start with the presentation itself. Is it visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So as I told you that I have classified the complete discussion in 4 or 5 specified points. First, I will introduce, the introduction to the Agamas and Tantra Shastra, and then Kashmir Shaiva Darshan and its metaphysics, which is very required to understand the higher concepts about the intuition and precognition. And then I will touch the actual topic, that is intuition and precognition. Then exemplify, I will present few of the examples of these events or happenings. And then I will summarize with the few suggestions. So let us begin the discussion itself from the first part, that is introduction to the Agama and Tantra Shastra. If we talk about the Shastra is understood as pravrittirva nivrittirva nityena kritakena va punsama yenopadishyante tat shastram abhidhiyate. This signifies that through which system humans are being taught for accomplishing something, or they are being prohibited for something, or they are being prescribed for daily behavior, that is only known as Shastra. And Shastra can be broadly classified under two categories. One is the Nigama Shastra and second is Agama Shastra. And if you go through the derivational definition of Nigam, that is Nigamyante anena iti Nigamaha. This means that the concluded knowledge based on the evidences, which is basically dependent on direct perception, that is known as Nigam. Thus, Vedic corpus or the whole of the Vedic literature comes under Nigama Shastra. And Nigama Shastra is a drishta jnana of the rishis. So it is said that rishayaha mantra drishtaraha. In the same way, Agam is the revealed knowledge taught by Shiva to Pārvati. So it is upadishta jnana. Both of them, that is Nigam and Agam, both of them are passed from one generation to another generation through Shruta Parampara. Shruta Parampara means the oral tradition of knowledge dissemination, and it is being received through listening. In the same way, if we talk about the Tantra is defined as Tantrayate Vistaryate Anena iti Tantraha. This means that the elaborate and systematic presentation of the knowledge is known as Tantra. So we have Tantras for both of them. That means for Agamas also, for Nigamas also. Agama Shastra is a very big corpus and consisting of the total 92 Agamas, in which 64 Agamas are non-dual. They are known as Bhairava Shastra. 18 are non-dual cum dual Agamas known as Rudra Shastra, and 10 are the dual Agamas. They are known as Śaiva Shastra. Kashmir Shaiva Darshan is based on 64 non-dual Bhairava Shastras. It is named as Kashmir Shaiva, so let me give you a basic understanding about the name also. As this darshan accepts Shiva or Paramashiva as the ultimate reality or ultimate or universal consciousness, we have the word Shaiva Darshan. And the second, because it flourished in the valley of Kashmir by the sadhakas or the practitioners, that's why it is completely or popularly known as Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. And this darshan has 4 branches. One is Pratyabhigya, which means recognition. Second is Kula, which describes the total 36 tattvas. Third is Krama, that describes the Krama Shakti, which is responsible for the existence of Kal or time. Krama means sequence. And the last one is Spanda, that is understood as vibration principle. So Kashmir Shaiva Darshan is also popularly known as a Trika Shastra, and just because it explains a lot of trikas. Trikas means the triads, group of 3. Just like you can see in the figure 1, there is a triad of Ichha, Jnana and Kriya. And this figure is very important, which is it's related with the next coming discussion. You need to remember that if the triangle is inverted and Ichha is pointing downwards, this represents Shakti. And in turn, this is a representation that the manifestation is going to begin. That means Shakti is progressing or descending down to create everything. And if the triangle is upright, that means it's a stage of Shiva, which is understood as Paramashiva or ultimate entity or universal consciousness. And that is suggesting the non-functional or non-manifested state, which can be understood as dissolution also. So if we talk about, I would like to take you to the metaphysics, because a little bit of understanding about the metaphysics is required to understand the intuition and precognition phenomena. So in Metaphysics of Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, the manifestation process has been described, and we will discuss the manifestation process first from the reference of tattvas, that is the objective side. On the objective side, what is going to be created. So as I told you that in this figure, you can see in figure 2, there are 3 inverted triangles and 1 upright triangle. 1 upright triangle is denoting Shiva, and 3 inverted triangles are denoting the 3 levels of the creation or manifestation which is going to happen. So now how manifestation proceeds. When Chiti or Shakti is the power of Paramashiv, that is has been given a technical name with Chiti, and this is being done in a text of Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, that is known as Pratyabhigya Hridayam. And here Chiti or Shakti is depicted as power of Paramashiv, and Paramashiv is considered as the ultimate or universal consciousness. And when Chiti comes on the foreground or Shakti comes on the foreground, then the manifestation begins. The ultimate reality or Paramashiv is none but Chaitanya. So we in Indian tradition has this popular, this word is very popular, that is Chaitanya. So in turn we are possessing life, that signifies that we are having Chaitanya within us. So this ultimate reality or Paramashiv is none but the Chaitanya who is without segmentation. That means akhand. First characteristic of Paramashiv is akhand. Second is avibhajya, and third is avichinna. Akhand means without segmentation. Avibhajya means it cannot be divided, indivisible, and avichinna means it's continuous. Now, Paramashiv is also described to have or possess 2 aspects. One is the Prakasha form and other is the Vimarsha form. Prakash form is just like the luminosity. When you just switch the lights on, there is luminosity in the room. So this is the luminous aspect of ultimate reality. And second is the Vimarsha form, the thoughtful form. Once you switch on the lights in the room, everything which is available in the room is becomes available or becomes a part of our visibility or understanding, or it becomes knowable to us. So we know the things just because of the Vimarsha Shakti. This is the second aspect of Paramashiv. On the background of luminosity of Paramashiv, Chiti, the unified power of Paramashiv, comes on the foreground and it starts the manifestation as per the desire of Paramashiv. So as Chiti is nothing, it's not like Chiti is an inert energy. She is intelligible energy. She is knowing everything what is going to be manifested, because she is ultimately possessing the Vimarsha form or the thoughtful nature of Paramashiv. And in that sense, Shiva and Shakti are not separable or not the separate entities. They are one. But once Chiti dominates, manifestation begins. So just because of the dominancy, we are naming them separately as a Shiva or a Shakti. Though in reality, both are same and one. So Chiti has been defined in Pratyabhigya Hridayam as Chitihi Swatantra Vishwasiddhi Hetuhu Swekshaya Sobhittau Vishwam Unmilayati. This is the sutra in Pratyabhigya Hridayam, first sutra, and it says that Chiti is absolutely free and she is the root cause of creation or manifestation. And she reveals or opens up the manifestation at her own canvas. So basically, revelation is going to happen. It's not like destruction or annihilation and then the new beginning or new creation. It's not like that. Here, it's understood that Chiti is already possessing everything in an unmanifested form in her own womb. And when she opens up or just reveals the hidden entities, that becomes the manifestation. So when Chiti comes on the foreground and it starts manifestation, Ichha is protruding downwards to showcase the descent of the Chiti as has been given in the previous diagram, that is figure 1. So this has been explained in the sutra of in the Pratyabhigya Hridayam, same text, that chiti rev chetan padad avarudha chaitya sankochini chittam. How chiti becomes transformed into chit. Here it is said that when chiti descends down from her own state, she acquires the stage of chitta due to the limitation of the powers. So here chitta is delimited consciousness. In the process of manifestation, chitti gets segregated into 5 aspects. Chit, first one, chitti is a unified power. There is no segregation of the powers. But when she is proceeding ahead in the manifestation process, she is getting segregated. And first aspect is swatantra, that is known as chitta. So there is a difference between chitti and chitta. In the second part, Ananda Shakti, third is Ichha Shakti, fourth is Kriya, and last is Jnana. So Swatantra means freedom, absolute freedom. Ananda is ultimate or unending or unbound happiness, which is understood as bliss. Ichha is the willpower, Kriya is the action power, and Gyan is the knowledge power. At first level, as you can see in figure 2, there are 3 inverted triangles. The first inverted triangle is signifying that the first level of manifestation. And she reveals 5 Shuddha Tattvas: Shiva Tattva, Shakti Tattva, Sadashiva Tattva, and Ishwar Tattva. Then Shuddha Vidya Tattva. These are getting represented in the form of first inverted triangle of the 3 powers in figure 2. At the second level, 6 tattvas, Maya and her Panch Kanchukas, Kal, Kala, Niyati, Raga, Vidya. So these are also getting projected through Chiti herself. And they are considered to be the Ashuddha tattvas, the second inverted triangle. And at the third level, 25 tattvas from Purush to Prithvi, which are also understood by the Sankhya Darshan. They appear at her canvas and they being represented by the third inverted triangle in figure 2. When this process progresses, what happens? You can see in this chart. In this process, at first level, Chit and Ananda Shaktis, that means Swatantra and ultimate or unbound happiness. They are in unbound state. At the first level, you can see there is nothing present under the head of bandha. Bandha means the things which are binding something. If you try to bind yourself with a rope, then you won't be able to perform anything. So at the first instance, the absolute freedom and the ultimate bliss are in an unbound state, and that is why manifestation is possible and manifestation begins. And then Ichha Shakti gets bound by Āgama Mal. So here 3 malas, the concept of 3 malas is very important in Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, in Āgama also. And they are known as Āgama, Karma, and Maya. So Āgama Mal binds Ichha Shakti, Karma binds Kriya Shakti, and Maya binds Jnana Shakti. So thus, if what happens here, when Ichha Shakti is bound by Āgama Mal, then it reveals Sadashiv. Then when Kriya Shakti is bound by Karma Mal, revealing Ishwar Tattva. Similarly, Jnana Shakti is bound by Maya Mal, revealing Shuddha Vidya Tattva. After opening up of the Maya along with 5 coverings, that is Niyati, Kal, Rag, Kala, and Vidya. So after opening up of Maya and her 5 coverings, Niyati, Kal, Rag, Kala, and Vidya, Shuddha Tattvas are covered. Shiva, Shakti, Sadashiv, Ishwar, and Shuddha Vidya. These are the Shuddha Tattvas. They are going to be covered because Kanchuk means covering. Covering is just like something when we wear the clothes to cover our body. So it's not like our body parts are gone. They are present, but they are not visible because we have covered them. So in the same way, Maya along with her 5 Kanchukas is covering the Shuddha Tattvas, and then the powers which are present in the Shuddha Tattvas, they are also getting covered. So thus Niyati covers Swatantra, that is freedom of the Shiva Tattva, and manifesting the Purusha Tattva. Similarly, Kal covers Ananda Shakti of Shakti Tattva, manifesting the Prakriti Tattva. Rag covers Ichha Shakti of Sadashiva, manifesting the Manas. Similarly, Kala covers Kriya Shakti of Ishwar Tattva, and then manifested, Ahankar gets manifested. And at the end, Vidya covers Jnana Shakti of Shuddha Vidya Tattva, and thus Buddhi Tattva gets manifested. So here you can see from it, there is a very huge difference in the concept from the Sankhya understanding. Here Manas, Ahankar and Buddhi are nothing but the delimited Ichha, Kriya and Jnana. So thus in Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, Chitta, who is delimited consciousness, possesses total 5 dominant tattvas of Ashuddha Tattva: Purusha, Prakriti, Manas, Ahankar and Buddhi. These are the 5 dominant tattvas. As manifestation proceeds ahead, so because after this one, rest of the 20 tattvas are also coming. So the limitation is progressing ahead, and the limitation of these powers is getting condensed more and more, thus giving rise to the Panch Jnanendriya, Shrotra, Tvak, Chakshu, Rasana and Ghrana, then Panch Karmendriya, Vak, Pani, Pad, Payu and Upasth, then Panch Tanmatrash, Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, and lastly Panch Bhutas, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal and Prithvi. So Prithvi is the last tattva, and it is considered as the grossest possible tattva. Now we need to understand a little bit about the time also, because precognition and intuition both are related with the time concept. So concept of time or Kal, as in the previous chart, you can understand that here Kal is the Kanchuk of Maya, and this Kal is covering Ananda Shakti. That's why we have fragmented happiness. Sometimes we are very happy, and in the next moment we are dissatisfied with our happiness, or the previous happiness is gone. So in Āgama Shastra, the concept of time is explained like it is cyclic in nature. We have this detailed understanding starting from one angula, or starting from one nimesha. We have calculated the age of Anashrita Shiva Tattva also. So, and this calculation is depicting us the concept of yugas, that is Chatur Yugi, and you can see like one Chatur Yuga is having 12,000 into 360 Manava Varshas, and when 71 times this Chatur Yugi runs, then one Manvantar is being created. And in the same way, 14 Manvantaras are making one Kalp, and that is the one day of Brahma, then Vishnu, then so on. So we are having an understanding that time is cyclic in nature. Kal is cyclic, chakriya hai, Kal chakriya hai. And in the same way, something is required related with the space also. Here in Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, especially in Tantra Shastra, we have the concept of and, elliptical spaces. The grossest one, which is Prithvi Tattva dominated, is Parthiv, then Prakrit and, then Maya and, then Shakt and then at the last there is the existence of Shiva and. This is the understanding. So from this discussion only, we can conclude 2 major points which are going to be related with the understanding of our intended subject. The reality and existence is cyclic, because reality, that means reality is an existence is cyclic, which is nothing but appearance and disappearance. Like when we boil water, there are so many bubbles coming at the surface of the water, and they are getting dissolved in the same water. So appearing and disappearing, this is the process. Appearance and disappearance are in continuous succession at each moment, and they are going on coherently. It's not like that first appearance will happen and after some time only disappearance happen. No, at the same moment both are going simultaneously. That's why we are having so many cells which are getting generated and degenerated at a single moment. Simultaneously everything is happening. And second most important aspect is Kal is also a manifested entity. as it is a part of Panch Kanchuk of Maya. So it is also cyclic, because reality is cyclic, so the time is also cyclic. And that's why 71 times when the Chaturyugi or the cycle of the 4 yugas passes, then only one Manvantar is formed, and so on. The calculation goes on. This Kal is just a cover of Maya, which is projected by Shakti herself. If delimited consciousness doesn't empower this cover, Kal vanishes. That means Kal doesn't have its own powers. It's empowered by the power of the Chitti herself, or the energy or intelligible energy present in the delimited consciousness itself. So it just disappears. Kal is nothing. Kal is just a cover, and it disappears if it is not empowered by Shakti. So its existence is because of the Krama Shakti, that is sequence of the prior and next. It is not in real existence. It is just an appearance. The cover is something like when the clouds cover the sun, it appears to us that the luminosity of the sun or the sun is not present. But in reality, sun is and its luminosity both are always present. They don't go anywhere. So in the Panini's Ashtadhyayi, we have a one sutra which says like Adarshana Lopaha, that which is not visible is just disappeared. It's not destructed or annihilated forever. It will appear again. So this is how the Indian corpus, especially Agama Shastra and Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, understands the Kal Tattva. Now, let us move ahead to understand more about the second part, that is the subjective side. As you can see in figure 4, there is a triangle which is denoting the manifestation process. On the objective side, I explained you how 36 tattvas are evolving. On the subjective side, we have 7 cognizers. So delimited consciousness on the objective side possesses 36 tattvas, and on subjective side, we have 7 levels of cognizers, and these 7 levels are none but the upgraded state of same delimited consciousness in the process of involution or introversion through the practices of sadhana. So if we relate it like Sakal, the Sakal cognizer is the one who is resident of this Parthiv and. So if we or you, we all are the residents of this Parthiv and. So we are Sakal Pramatas, and once we start practicing sadhana, then we enter into the process of involution, and we ourselves upgrade our consciousness, which has become delimited in the powers, and we transit to the state, or we transform ourselves to the state of the upper levels of the pramatas or cognizers, that is pralayakal, vijnanakal, mantra, mantresh, mantra mahesh. The more the sadhana gets condensed, the more powers our powers will be magnified. So these levels of, and one more thing, these 5 levels of the cognizers are mapped with the 5 levels of experiences: Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti, Turi, and Turiyatit. As our subject is of precognition and intuition, so we need to understand Jagrat means awakened state. Swapna is the dream state. So in figure 5, you can see when these 7 cognizers are mapped along with mapped as per the 5 states of experience, then they become 35. So 35 is understood with the technical term in the Shastra as Sapt Panchak. So in this way, on the subjective side also, we are having 7 pramatas which are undergoing 5 states of experiences regularly, and on the objective side we are having 36 tattvas. Now on the basis of this understanding, we will enter into the understanding of intuition and precognition. As you can see, image 2, I will start from the image 2. There is in the first column there is DC 7. DC means delimited consciousness, which has been limited in the powers. And as I told that this is our level. We are living at the Parthiv and we are Sakal Pramatas. So we will start discussion from ourselves. The lowest level is at Parthiv, where all the 3 malas, Arav, Karm, and Maya are present. In the vacant state of this cognizer, all the powers are covered by these kanchukas or these malas and bound by the malas. But when this pramata undergoes transition into dream state, this is the vacant state. At state, we are sakal pramata, just like right now we are sakal pramatas. When we go to sleep and we are in a state of dream, then what happens? We become pralaya kal pramata. So in that state, what happens? In dream state, ichha shakti or the willpower goes beyond the binding of the adavamal. It's the evidence of ichha dominated dreams. So in dreaming, our at the level of sakal pramata, our ichha dominates, our unfulfilled desires or fulfilled desires or whatever desire we possess, that will dominate in the dream. In the next stage, DC6, when pralayakal pramata is the pramata of vacant state, then what happens? In the vacant state is devoid of adavamal, because here karma and mai are present, but adav is absent. So ichha becomes unbound, or ichha goes beyond the binding of adavamal. So this is the first level of intuition which is available at the vacant state. First level of intuition, because now whatever we will desire, we can intuit it. And that's why a lot of persons experience this kind of phenomena, that they are just thinking, contemplating in the vacant state. And just by contemplating, they are getting the answers because of the dominancy or prominency of the Ichha Shakti. And in this state, in the same state, when the Pralaya Kalpramata goes to the sleep state, then Jnana Shakti is going beyond the bindings of the Mayamal, because here Mayamal is not present. So if the Jnana Shakti is becoming unbound, then dreams will provide knowledge. So here for Pralaya Kalpramata, dreams are knowledge dominant. In Vijnanakal state, moving one step ahead, one level ahead. In Vijnanakal, in the same way, vacant state is devoid of Mayamal and Gyan is unbound, giving rise to the second level of intuition. Here, second level of intuition is available, where Gyan Shakti provides clear and precise knowledge. In the dream of Vijnana Kalpramata, Kriya Shakti is beyond the binding of Karmamal, and that's why here dreams become potent enough with the functionality, with the activity. One step more upgraded, one more step upgradation. In Mantra Pramata, vacant state, it's devoid of Karmamal. So Kriya is becoming unbound, giving rise to the third level of intuition. This is responsible for the third level of intuition at the vacant state, where Kriya Shakti provides power to execute the things merely by ideation. Just you will create an idea and you will be able to execute it. And if this pramata goes to the stage of dreaming, then due to the here two powers, two shaktis, Ichha and Gyan, are going beyond the binding of the Mal, Adav and Maya, and thus Mantra Pramata becomes able to acquire the knowledge just at his or her willpower. And if you move ahead, one step more subtler, in the Mantresh state, the vacant state is devoid of Adav and Maya. So Ichha and Gyan are unbound, giving rise to the fourth level of intuition available at vacant state, where all the will of the sadhaka, where at the will of the sadhak, the practitioner, at the will of the practitioner, knowledge gets available. And so technically, sadhak can avail the knowledge at his or her desire. And in the dream state of Mantresh Pramata, Ichha and Kriya are unbound, so sadhak is able to create the things. Sadhak is able to execute or create the things just by his or her desire. Moving one step ahead, second last Mantra Mahesh, vacant state is devoid of Adav and Karmamal. Thus, Ichha and Kriya both are unbound, giving rise to the fifth level of intuition, available at vacant state, where sadhak execute the things just by his or her will. And this process is very twarit. Twarit means it's very quick, fast. And abadhit means unobstructed. So the moment you desire, it will be done. In the dream state of this kind of pramata, that means mantra mahesh pramata, Gyan and Kriya Shaktis are unbound, so sadhaka creates anything through his knowledge in the dreams also. And in the last pramata, that is Shiva pramata, vacant state is Mai and Karmamal are absent, so Gyan and Kriya are unbound, and this is the sixth level of intuition available at the vacant state, where sadhaka executes the things through the knowledge. And in dream state, all the powers are unbound, so everything is instantly available to that kind of state of delimited consciousness. Now in the same chart image, you can see there are four types of, or is the four stages of the dreaming: gata gata, suvikshipta, sangata, and susamahit. So let us understand what they are and what they are saying. Gata gata is described as Shat Trimshad Angul Pranachar Upjayaman Gam Agama Sambandhat. This is saying that due to the Gam Agam relation based on the 36 Angul of the Pranachar, we possess the power of getting associative dreams. What is associative dream? The one to whom we are associated, or the one who are associated to us, like our blood relations or loved ones. So they are related to us. Either in the form of those who have taken birth, or the persons who who are now dead, but they were alive in some part of our life. We were familiar with them, so they are any type of person, place, or any type of entity which is in association to us. They will be available in gata gatam types of dreams, or we will perceive them through the potency of our powers. And then the second type of dreams are precognitive dreams, which is suvikshiptam. This is, and it is defined as dur tara desh kal ullikhyaman padartha sansparshat. That means due to the touch of those padarthas which are placed at distant coordinates of time and space, these type of dreams are understood as suvikshipta. Third category is of the creative dreams, sangatam, and defined as sankalpanaik vritti mano matra samsargat. Due to the touch of manas, conceptualization becomes dominant in the sangatam, and this kind of dreams are responsible for big discoveries. Just like you must be familiar with the example of Kakule, who dreamt of the structure of the Benjing ring because he was contemplating constantly, thinking about the mechanism, and then he got the answer, the possible answer, and that is the base of right now in organic chemistry. So in the same way, the last one is susamahitam. These are the realized dreams. Vaikalpik artha aikatanatvat. Due to the unanimity of the optional meaning, realized type of dreams are available, and these are the highest possible level of the dreams, which is actually becomes available to the yogis or sadhakas. And from this discussion, the discussion which I showed you till now, we can conclude 2 points. One is the potency of intuition at vacant state is the capability inherent in the dream state. Simple. And this is possible due to the continuation of the stream of consciousness. Consciousness is continuous. That is the basic of all the phenomena happening. The second point is the precognitive dreams are a part of all the levels of the pramatas. So if anyone wants to have the detailed understanding or description about the 4 level types of dreams, you can refer to the page 100 to 101 of the book, which is titled as Precognitive Dreams in Kashmir Shaivism. Now let me give you the examples. As you can see in Kashmir Shaiva Darshan also, we have the mechanism of the dreams also elaborately, and apart from that, we have the evidence where renowned Acharya Vasugupta, who was ordered by Param to discover the secret hidden beneath the rock and to illuminate the knowledge among the people in his dream. And after waking up from his dream, he investigated the rock at the same place as told by Shiva in his dream. And he found Shiva Sutras beneath it. This is a single incident which is quoted here, but the tantric texts are full of such kind of mystical references. These texts are not only provide happened incidents, but also provide the mystical ways of the sadhana to achieve the siddhis, which empower the yogi to achieve such specialities and transcendence the normal capabilities. In the next example, which is very important, in Bhavishya Puran, whenever if you ever get time to read it, Bhavishya Puran narrates that rishis undergo samadhi when the third and the fourth part of Kali Yuga approaches, because they know that now the pains and disappointments would be at its peak. Thus they become samadhist. When they wake up again from samadhi, yuga changes. And then they start narrating the events happened in the past just like they had seen it. Why and how is it possible? It is possible just because time is non-fragmented, number one, and it is an appearance of unbroken stream of consciousness. So everything resides all the time, and they are able to perceive everything through pratibha pratyaksha, that is intuitive direct perception. There is an important concept related with the samadhisthata or atmasthata and sampraktata. Few people have misconception about saturation or sampraktata and samadhisthata or atmasthata. Sampraktata and atmasthata are not same. Saturation is a relative concept, while atmasthata is like involuting your senses within, like a tortoise, kurma. Tortoise contracts his parts of the body within the hard shell due to the fear of being hurt. Same thing is done in atmasthata when we involute our senses or withdraw our senses from the external reality. Sampraktata is a saturation which is done by providing bhog or consumption to our senses. Like if a child likes sweets a lot and he is being provided a lot of sweets to eat in one turn, his senses of the taste towards that sweet would be saturated for some time, but later on that saturation can be changed. If we will try to summarize the understanding about intuition and precognition both, the intuition or the intuitive potential is the magnified power of consciousness, which gets released from the bonds of malas and is available in the awakened state of the cognizer and provides the perception of subtler aspects. The precognitive capability in dream is a transformed intuitive power itself, where the uncovering of power works to possess the touch of places, persons, or events of distant time and space. Time is cyclic and it is a cover of Maya, not possessing universal existence. So the segmentation into the past, present, and future is not concrete. It's just an appearance. Cosmically, everything resides in everything all the time. Everything is related to everything all the time. So precognition and intuition both are natural potencies available to delimited consciousness as a modified version of powers of consciousness. Magnified powers of delimited consciousness are the reason of yogaj pratyaksha or pratibha pratyaksha, that is intuitive direct perception. Now the question that comes in the minds of the audience instantly, that many of us experience this kind of intuition or precognition, though we are not sadhakas. So why this happens to us? The answer is the ritualistic procedures like puja, jap, dan, tap, hom, yag, yoga, yajna, which have been assimilated in our day-to-day practices in our culture of Bharat in different forms like of festivals, etc., are in turn providing us the reinforced potency because they are coming from the Agama and Tantra Shastra itself. In Agama and Tantra, these practices are listed under the first means of introversion, under the head of Ādava Upaya, and which this upaya is prescribed for the lowest grade of creators like us. That's why we are being taught to have so many of the festivals in order to have the condensation of our energy in some or the other ways. There are few suggestions. The way of perceiving the things needs to be changed. Humans are not the superior most creatures. If we talk, if we see with the referential framework of Agama and Tantra Shastra, we are at the grossest stage, that is the Parthiv and. We are the creatures living or residing in the Parthiv and at the grossest level of existence, and this itself suggests that we are not the superior ones. There are more sophisticated. There are there may be so many creatures which are more sophisticated than us. So to have the standards of measurement based on our own limitations is not a good deal. And that's why normal, supernormal, abnormal, paranormal, these are the terms which are needed to be revised a lot. Standardizations should be universal. Just like when I told you, Shadatrinsha the Angula Pranachar. So Angul is a unit of measurement which is defining the length of Anguli. So ant is also having one Anguli, and we are also having one Anguli. Anguli means finger, and this can be this is varying in different creatures. So if we have to measure the breathing rate of the ant, we have to use the measurement unit as per the Anguli Praman of that ant. And if we have to measure the breathing rate of ours, then we have to use the Anguli Praman of our. So this is something which is prescribed in the measurement of time and space when we talk about with the reference of Indian understanding. There we have the standardizations which are universal. But right now, where the practice which we are dealing, we think like whatever is the standard version, that is just the standard one which is related with the humans only, and that's not a good deal. The way of, that's why these words like normal, supernormal, if we think like if we are not possessing some potency, that means that is the normal plane, and if someone is possessing more potency, that is the supernormal or abnormal or something like that. So this concept needs to be changed. The way of approaching to reality decides the fruits we are going to get. Our way of approaching creates a significant difference. In Agama Shastra, the approach to reality is from subtlest to grossest. That's why we have the answers of all the possible questions. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The way we approach to reality, she will respond back to us in the same way. And that's why we can hear the cosmic pulsation if we are in a resonance with the Prakriti itself. So, apart from that, also in Kashmir Shaivism, there is one more important thing, that is bhavana. And this bhavana has been described as a tool for introversion, where Sat Tark dominates. And bhavana is important, just like if bhavana word comes from the root bhav, the existence. So if we try to compromise all the time with our bhavas, we will compromise with our own existence, and that will create disappointments in the long run. So to create a sensible human being and to create a completely fulfilled individual from within, in the Tantra and Agama Shastra, these are there a lot of practices are being described, and they have become assimilated in our culture. That is why we feel these kind of experiences related with the intuition and precognition in our daily behavior also. And this is not a specialized or extraordinary thing. It is a common and a normal thing if we look at it from the perspectives of the Agama and Tantra Shastra. So with these words, I will I just want to give thanks to Professor J.S.R. Prasad, who gave me this opportunity to share this knowledge to all of you, because the knowledge is very deep and it cannot be covered in 1 hour, but still I try to summarize with the precise ones in order to give you the basic understanding about the precognition, a completely new, or you can say a new line of investigation through which we never look directly if we never touch the Shastras. So Also, I want to mention a vote of thanks to the Vice Chancellor of University of Hyderabad, who at least showed an interest to look at the recording of the lecture. I would be very fortunate enough if he goes with the he found something very good with in this lecture. And at last, I am highly thankful for all the audience for having the patience to listen to this tough topic. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Surabhi, for your wonderful lecture and exposition on Kashmir Shaiva Siddhanta, exclusively with regard to the intuition and precognition. Yes, you have managed the job very well, because the information is very deep and it's profound to understand. You have condensed into few slides. I think it requires more elaboration, because you tried your level best to introduce, based on which you have tried to explain the precognition and intuition. Unless the introduction is understood, it's very difficult for us to understand the next second part.
Yes.
So it is a blend of Sankhya, Vedanta, Yoga. Many theories are, are part of the system, I feel. And most important, this is Trika Siddhanta is highly interesting. And I think Abhinav Gupta has contributed a lot to this. Part of your talk, what and of course, this is even new to me. I never exposed myself to Trika Siddhanta, Kashmir Shaiva Siddhanta. Today you have given some suggestions at the end of the lecture. So what we can also add is how we can convey these ideas to the scientist community.
Yes.
For example, you were giving importance to Kala Tattva, right? So Kala is one of the 4 dimensions of this creation. This entire creation is based on 4 dimensions, the length, height, width and all, plus time is also part of that. Time goes along with space. Time is not independent. That is where Dikkalo, Sarvathartha, Prejaka Sambandho, as logicians say. So that is one aspect I would like to see from a scientific angle. Second thing is the Shiva and Shakti. These two are the primordial tattvas, just something similar to the wave and particle nature of an atom. Because as soon as you try to locate it as a wave, it is particle. When you try to locate it as a particle, it is no more a particle, it is a wave now. So this particle nature is matter and wave nature is energy. This is Shiva and Shakti. Only thing is we need to correlate the terminology so that scientific community will definitely understand, appreciate us. Because so much of thought process went into these darshanas. Definitely this gives rise to further deliberations, so that there is a interdisciplinary dialogue could be established. So that is what I am seeing, and really it's wonderful to see so many tattvas. For example, you were mentioning about that 5 andas, right? Parthiva anda, etc. Somewhere it is having a kind of overlapping with our Panchakosha theory in Taittiriya. Somewhere, because see, they can't go out of the Vedic literature. These people, the scholars in Shaiva Siddhanta, very cleverly classified different tattvas. And you when you're talking about this, what is that, Ashuddha tattvas kind of things. I think terminologies differed a little. Conceptually, they have a lot of overlapping, as much as I see, being a student of philosophy. So that's really so nice. And ultimately, you have given the 5 different classifications of the dreams: that associative, precognitive, creative, and realized dreams. And Vaiseshika also talks about some dreams through Prashastabhada Bhashya. So they talk about the bodily humors. At that level, they have stopped. But here, they went ahead and they talked more about this. So I think there is much need to be done in this area. I am very happy that a young scholar and my friend Dr. Surabhi has presented very well. And she is one of the most promising scholars in this area, because very few choose this area. The path is not that easy. You have to lay the path. That is the thing here. So youngsters who are inspired this lecture, maybe you can have further interactions with Dr. Surabhi, and you can also go to some material So that's quite interesting. Thank you very much, Dr. Surabhi, for this wonderful lecture. And also, I would like to thank Professor Aloka Parashar Senji, Professor Emeritus, Department of Sanskrit Studies, for kindly joining us. And exclusively the Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor B.J. Rao Garu, has shown interest in this lecture and has messaged me that unfortunately I can't join, but you please send me the recording link. Definitely we're going to share all this. So, and also I would like to thank all the students and the colleagues who joined and other friends to make this event so successful. And also I would like to thank my friend Mrs. Srivani for her introduction of the speaker. And once again, I thank Dr. Surabhi for that wonderful lecture.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and thank you one and all. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for creating these opportunities with eminent speakers and giving us the exposure to various dimensions of the subject.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.